Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. It's Kelly Hoover here. I'm so excited to bring one of my very best friends on, and we're going to chat a little bit, probably teach you a little something, and I know that we'll be able to relate to you all. I hope that your holiday season is going great. I am actually going to bring her on now. I'm sending you an invite. Hi. Yes. So I'm so excited. We were like had a few minutes, and we're like, let's go live. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm all ready for yoga. So I'm in like my workout clothes.
Oh my gosh, I love
You
it.
look
I
so
love it.
cute.
Okay, so we're gonna get quick, straight to the point because I
Well,
know
that's
a
the way
lot of
I
people
like
right.
it.
Yes, a lot of people right now are, in the midst of December. They're in holiday season. They're probably walking into their closet and maybe not liking how their clothes fit them, maybe feeling a little bit bad. I know that's kind of how I was feeling in the past. But I also really want to just offer some experience and some hope to people about some of the things that you and I have been doing this year. So a lot of you, if you are connected with Blair, you're connected with me, or someone has shared your story, you've seen some transitions, right? Not only like physical transitions, but other things, the way that we feel. And so, Blair, I want to first talk about your weight loss transition. And I want you to just share a little bit about your story, kind of like why you started, and then kind of a little bit about it, and then what you've been doing with the microdosing on this end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, if you guys are friends with me, you'll see I even did a Facebook post today about this specifically because I had a cancer journey in 2020, 2021. I had ovarian cancer. I'm quickly rushing over that because I don't want it to be the only thing we talk about today. But, those of you that understand and have been around people who've been through chemotherapy, it is rough on your body. And so I did the whole thing. And afterwards, and during that time, I lost a lot of weight, which obviously a lot of people do because you aren't feeling great. But I also went completely plant-based. I got really serious about my health and about preventative health and longevity. And so I thought I was like really at peak performance, right? And so I get out of chemotherapy and immediately get put into menopause because I had a hysterectomy. And then I'm looking at these pictures now. Back then, I was thinking like, oh, you look really good, right? Like you lost that weight and you've been able to keep it off. But I looked so puffy. And I went back this morning to like how I really felt during that time. And I remember, there's this thing where you kind of push through how you're feeling or you almost deny the truth of how you're feeling. So it was like, Blair, you are alive. You are like not sitting on the couch for the last 6 months like you have been. When I was going through chemo, I was just like exhausted all the time, right? And not feeling good. But I came out the other side and I'm like, oh, at least like you can go out, you can do things with your family again, you can enjoy life and like be happy that you at least can do these things. But really, I was feeling pretty crappy. And I was slowly gaining weight every single month and I could not stop it, even though I was eating right, exercising, doing all the right things, like way more than most people, getting enough sleep, nervous system regulation, lymphatic work. And so I look at these pictures from 2021 when I stopped my chemotherapy to the summer of 2023 when I decided to start on these peptides. And I see somebody who has a puffy face. I see somebody who is slowly gaining weight over, like, I mean, we're talking like I gained 30 pounds during that time. And each event that you and I were at together, right? Like I'm looking at pictures of Kelly and I from these different events, and like each time I can see that I was getting puffier and a little bit fluffier and heavier, and that's not healthy, right? And it's not good for our body. And I obviously have an extra reason to make sure I'm super healthy because I don't ever want to get my cancer back again. So I started on these peptides in the summer of 2023 and had such a huge result. Within 6 months, I lost 33 pounds. I've been able to maintain that and keep it off. But even more importantly than that, and I do love the way that I feel and look, I'm not going to lie. But more importantly, I feel really amazing. Like I don't have that lethargic feeling anymore. I don't have headaches anymore. I can go throughout the day with great energy. I sleep amazing at night. I'm not having 20 hot flashes a day. I might get one. If somebody makes me mad, it's like the Hulk. It's the only time I get hot flashes now. It's like when I get mad. And so it's just been really cool to see like a lot of my menopausal symptoms went away. And oh, I didn't even tell you this, Kelly, but I actually get my blood work done every 4 months for a full panel to understand everything that's going on in my body, but especially my cancer marker, my CA-125. And I just had it done this last week on Monday, and it came back today 8, the number 8. And that has been consistent for this last year. It's been 7 or 8 every time, where during cancer it was 168, after cancer it was 20 to 25. But since I've been on these peptides, it's been 7 or 8, which is just incredible.
That's awesome. That is so
Yeah.
awesome. And, it's been really cool to like watch you, do it because you guys, Blair and I are very good friends. We have been very good friends for a long time. We share a lot with each other. And in the beginning, when she first started this, obviously, I followed along and I was with her through her entire like cancer journey. But on the other side, she didn't really tell me. She kept it a secret, right? And, it was probably some because it was new. It was something, that can a lot of people have judgment over. Also, too, because there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame. And I know I felt that too, Blair. Like when I first started, I did share it with you and one other person in my life besides my husband because of the shame. And I only really shared it with you two because you had done it yourself and I knew you weren't going to judge me. And so I know that there are people that are watching that are either have judged, do judge, or are afraid people are going to judge them, right? So you guys, we want to normalize it. It's normal. We both have been there. We have definitely done the judging and we definitely have been worried about judging us. But part of why Blair and I decided to like come out and share our story was because we know our vulnerability offers you hope. We know us sharing our story gives you like, oh, there are normal people who do it. There are people who get on peptides who don't necessarily, it can be 10 pounds weight loss. It can be 30 pounds. We both lost 33 pounds. It can be 50. It can be 100. Like it's not a one size fits all. And I will encourage you regardless if you're friends with me, you're friends with Blair, you're friends with someone who tagged you in this, have a conversation. It will blow your mind the education that the two of us have around peptides and around helping you. So Blair, I want to talk really quickly too about NAD plus because NAD plus is a peptide that I recently have started. There's two of our family members now doing it, both for different reasons. But part of why I did it was because you really encouraging me and like seeing your journey and seeing other people. So tell us a little bit about like your NAD plus experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys know, NAD is something you already have in your body. We all have this peptide in our body. Much like collagen, it starts to decrease every year that you get older. So by the time you're 30, you've actually lost half of it. And then it starts rapidly decreasing as we get older. And that's why we get like the black circles under our eyes, that crepey skin, even cellulite, gray hair. A lot of that stuff is contributed to NAD, but also the lack of energy, our body just not functioning properly, and then even cellular regeneration of bad cells. So one of the things that I had researched and learned a lot about was NAD when I had my cancer. And as soon as I got the all clear that I could start using it, I was so excited because I had heard so many great things about it. And also a lot of people are using it for post-COVID protocol. So if you go to any of, a lot of people, once they have COVID, they have these long-term COVID effects. If you're one of those people or you have a high amount of inflammation in your body for any reason, like some people, I am one of those people. It didn't matter what I was doing after my cancer. I could not get my inflammation levels down. I mean, I was doing everything that they told me to do. So yes, NADs are a peptide. And so one of the things that I noticed is that some people just have a higher amount of inflammation than others. So when I started on NAD, I started on that first actually before I even got started on GLP-1, which is more of like a weight loss one, but also has a lot of other really great health benefits. But I started on NAD first. So it was really cool because I really got to see how it affected me. And the very first injection, I just felt kind of good, had some energy. By the third injection, the pain in my hip and my foot was gone. My hot flashes went down from 15 a day to 1. My night sweats were completely gone. I was even noticing, this is crazy, but I was like noticing like my urination was different. I wasn't having to urinate all the time anymore. Like women, you know what I'm talking about, right? Even men, like my husband swears it's helped him. He's like, I don't have to get up 2 times in the middle of the night anymore. Like I'm sleeping the night through. And so that was so incredible to me. And by the end of the first month, my skin completely changed. My pores were smaller. My skin was more vibrant, which was something that was starting to get dull looking during menopause. My hair on the top of my head was starting to thin a little bit from menopause. That went away. Now my hairdresser is going to hate that I say this, but I don't have to go in but every 6 to 8 weeks to get my hair colored because my gray barely is there. And I just overall, like my mood changed. I was feeling very irritable and a little bit anxious during that time,
Mhm.
and which is not a normal characteristic of my personality. And I knew it was from menopause, and that went away. I feel like I'm much happier and cheerier. And so it's a product that I highly recommend to all my friends, because I'm like, we have to reduce our inflammation levels as we get older. It is between stress, environment, toxins. Your inflammation is high. And if you can turn it down and then also increase the NAD in your body, you're only doing your cells a favor. It's meeting you at the mitochondria level of your cells, which I know is a fancy word. It's basically like plant food for your cells. And you want that. So I know that was like very descriptive, but it's just a product that I'm obsessed with, and I beg all my friends and family to be taking.
Yeah, and I will tell you, like, I have just recently started taking it, as well as one of my children. And the interesting thing, for different reasons, like one for, immunity issues. And then for me, like, I have already in a short period of time gotten compliments on my skin and like the glowing of my skin. And which I'm like, well, that's great. Like, who doesn't want, better like complexion and glower skin? I have incredibly dry skin, crepey skin, all that. So I am really looking forward to those benefits. And I'm still in my very first month, so I will definitely be sharing more of that. But I love the whole like slang term with it, the fountain of youth peptide, and really like helping you age backwards. Because here's the thing that I have learned with like being in pharmaceuticals and seeing some of these peptides come to market, 2 decades, 3 decades ago, and now the research, there is so much hope for people. And I know a lot of people, the new year is coming. And one of the main goals, the number one goal in the United States for people, is to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I think about where we are, Blair, right now in December of 2024 versus where we were in December of 2023, when I was personally contemplating, do I start a GLP-1 peptide? Do I do this? And the reality is I was like, it was very not really accepted. It was still like shh. It was still like a lot of shame. And I know certain people feel that way, but man, we are in a total different time now. There are so many people. If you look around your life and you've seen someone lose
Mm-hmm.
15, 20 plus pounds, I guarantee they're probably doing it. They're probably doing it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it so much is that people are starting to be like, okay, this is working for people. It's not just for type 2 diabetics, it is working for others. And the microdosing aspect of it has been incredible, I know, for both you and I. So, you guys, I'm going to leave you with some encouragement. I'm going to leave you with some encouragement of to reach out, to have a conversation. If you're friends with Blair, reach out to her. If you're friends with me, reach out. If you're friends with both of us, put us in a message and let us help you. Because the biggest surprise, like, I knew that peptides were in high demand. I didn't know, I didn't quite understand the demand for the education, the demand for a normal woman, a friend of yours, to just be there and to answer questions and to give you education. Because I will say that we have a ton of knowledge only because we both are kind of sciencey and like that, but we both have been using them, and we want to know what we're putting in our body and what our families are putting in their body as well. And there is clinical research to back it up. And that was one of the things I was like, oh, I love the fact that we have science to back things up. And we're very educated on how to speak to that. So, Blair, thanks for coming on and
Yeah,
sharing your story.
I was literally going to be like, oh, I want to say one more thing, but you
Oh,
literally
good.
said it. But I will tell you, if you're friends with Kelly, ask her for some more information. If friends with me, ask me. But on our site, and this is what I love. Like, I had already done all this research for myself, but I love that it's all right there.
Yeah.
So you can get the information about what it is, how it works, frequently asked questions, and then scientific journals and resources and studies that have been done to prove. And one more thing about NAD that I want to tell you guys is, if you Google NAD, there was a lot of talk over the last couple of years on Huberman Lab, Ed Milet, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has actually been talking about it for years, but a lot of these other really high celeb, people are talking about it. And a lot of them do these IV bags of it. And it's a very high dose. And you have to sit there actually for 4 to 5 hours, because you have to do it at a very slow rate. And you feel like you just got the flu. It's an awful feeling. I did it one time after my chemotherapy to get myself feeling a little bit better. It's an awful feeling. And, but on the other end, you feel better. But this way that we're doing it at a much lower number, and you inject yourself twice a week or use the nasal spray, is such a better way of doing it. And you feel the results after most of my clients, it's after the third or fourth injection that they're texting me and they're like, Oh my gosh, I feel like myself again. I'm energized. My favorite one the other day was like, I actually meal prep for my whole family. They thought I was crazy. And I don't have to take any stimulants. This is 100% a peptide. There's no stimulants in it at all. I actually don't do any caffeine anymore. Very rarely. Like every once in a while, I might have something as a treat, but I don't really do caffeine or any other stimulants because I'm in menopause and I'm trying to be very careful with my adrenals. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And the other thing too, just as a side note, because I know we get a lot in questions about injections, and when you're looking at a product, really the best bioavailability, the best way for you to get something into your system is through IVs or
yeah,
injections, right? And obviously an injection, you have control, you can microdose, you can, adjust your dose. The doctors give you specific dosing for what your individual goals are. And so that is really, really, really like beneficial. And if you look at just scientific, doesn't matter what it is. That is why when you go into the hospital and you do things and they want to get things in your system that's actually going to go to your bloodstream and work right away. That's why they put it in through an IV. That's why they give you an injection. So I love this. The injection, the syringes are so small, you guys. You don't feel them, like they don't hurt. They're just so tiny. So it's super, super easy to do. So, and there are other things. There's nasal sprays, sublinguals, different other types of things, but the injections are definitely the best. So thank you for your
awesome.
time.
Thanks for
And you
having me
guys reach
on.
out if you have any questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.